What's going on, YouTube family? This is your man Pristine, back with another video. Welcome to the full unboxing for the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, or should I say the Note 22 Ultra. So there's a $100 price difference between the different storage variations. The 128 gig, $11.99, 256 gig, $12.99, 512 gig, $13.99, and then the terabyte, $14.99. Okay, these are some pretty high priced devices. Now, Samsung is also offering steep discounts with trade-ins. Depending on devices that you trade in, you can get up to $1,000 off with Verizon. You can get up to $800 off with AT&T and T-Mobile, or through the Samsung website if you just want to get the unlocked variant, or if you just want to go through Samsung and get one of the carrier branded S22 Ultras. You can also get that through Samsung, but you can trade in, a device or two with Samsung and get money shaved off. So there's some pretty nice discounts and promotions that they've got going on to get your hands on this device. And I was able to get a super sweet deal on mine with the trade-in. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got a device that you can trade in, you may be able to get a significant portion of money taken off. And like I said, if you pre-ordered it, then you can get the higher storage variant for the price of the previous storage variant. That's pretty slick. That's pretty nice. Now, let's get into the specifications, right? We've got a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2x display featuring 120 hertz, HDR+, 1750 nits max brightness. That's hella bright. 1750 nits. We got a 1440 by 3088 pixel resolution. We've got a PPI pixel density of 500. We've got a 90.2 screen to body ratio, and we've got Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and the back with the aluminum frame. Now internally, we've got the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 SoC chip. This is a 4nm 5G chipset. We've got an octa-core CPU. We've got an Adreno 730 GPU, 256 gigs of storage, 12 gigs of RAM, Android 12 with One UI 4.1 skin on top. Okay, this thing is an absolute monster. It's a beast. Okay, just to put it plain, to make it simple, the best way to describe this phone is beast mode, straight up. All right, now with the cameras, on the rear we've got a quad camera system. We've got a main 108 megapixel wide lens. This is an f1.8 aperture with a 0.8 micron pixel featuring PDAF laser autofocus and optical image stabilization. We have a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, f4.9 aperture. This is a 230 millimeter lens with a 1.12 micron pixel featuring dual pixel PDAF, optical image stabilization, and 10 times optical zoom. We have another 10 megapixel telephoto lens. This is f2.4 aperture. This is a 70 millimeter lens with a 1.12 micron pixel, also featuring dual pixel PDAF, optical image stabilization, and this lens has 3x optical zoom. And then finally, we've got a 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture. This is a 13 millimeter lens. This is a 120 degree ultra wide lens with a 1.4 micron pixel, also featuring dual pixel PDAF and super steady video. All right, now we have LED flash, auto HDR, panorama. The video features are 8K recording at 24 frames per second, 4K recording at 30 and 60 FPS, 1080p recording at 30, 60, and 240 FPS. We also have 720p recording at 960 FPS featuring HDR10 plus, stereo sound recording, gyro electronic image stabilization, and those are the camera features for the rear camera. Now the selfie camera is a 40 megapixel sensor, f2.2 aperture. This is a 26 millimeter wide lens with a micron pixel of 0.7. This is featuring PDAF, 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS, 1080p recording at 30 frames per second, and dual video call, also featuring auto HDR. Okay, so 40 megapixel for the selfie camera. Yeah, your selfie game should be on point for sure. All right, now the battery. We've got a 5,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery. Of course, we got a Type-C port for charging, USB port. We've got fast. Now, this is where I'm going to get into some gripes, but I'm not going to go too hard because this is something that we've seen before. But obviously, looking at this thin little box, what's missing? You guessed it, the charging brick. Now, Samsung is claiming that this phone is capable of fast 45-watt charging, but the charger does not come in the box. Now, luckily for me, I've still got my Type-C chargers from previous Samsung devices, and I also have my Anker super fast wall charger that, you know, I charge mostly all my phones with. But it's kind of fugazi, all this money that Samsung is charging for these phones. Even with the promotions, these are still some super expensive phones. You would think that a case, a screen protector, and the charging brick would be in the box, not a separate accessory. Because there's a lot of people that, for whatever reasons, they may not be able to take advantage of these promos. What if they didn't pre-order it and they're buying it, you know what I'm saying, say a month or two down the road? These phones are still going to be pretty pricey. So to turn around and have to buy the fast 45-watt charger, if that's what they want to charge their phone separately, like, come on, Samsung, that's BS. That's BS, and you know it. But yeah, so 45-watt charger that does not come in the box. We've got USB power delivery 3.0. We got fast Qi 15-watt wireless charging, and we got reverse wireless charging, or a lot of people refer to it as reverse power share at 4.5 watts, which is nothing. You know, I don't even really care too much about wireless charging anymore because the charging bricks on the phones have gotten so fast, and we know that wireless charging is not going to come anywhere close to the wattage of these wall adapters. You know what I mean? And you know, my ZTE Axon 30 Ultra, that comes with a 65-watt wall adapter in the box. And I mean, I am not kidding. I'm talking about charging from 0 to 100% in like 15 minutes. No lies. So when I see these companies like Samsung advertising that, oh, well, yeah, the phone, it has 45-watt charging capabilities, but you got to go and buy that 45-watt charger in addition to the device and all the money that you just paid. That's nonsense, man. But whatever. I'm not going to start griping about that because I can go on and on about that. Now, additional features. We've got the Bluetooth 5.2. We've got NFC. We've got under the display ultrasonic fingerprint reader. We got Samsung DeX. We got wireless Samsung DeX, Samsung Pay, stereo AKG tuned speakers. We've got a 32-bit 184 kilohertz DAC that is built into the Type-C port at the bottom of the device for audio, which also was tuned by AKG. We've got an IP rating of 68 water and dust resistance. We've got always on display. We've got, again, because this is the new Note now, it's the Note rebranded, we got the stylus, the S Pen. Okay, and with the water and dust resistance, this thing can be in up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes. So for those of you where that is actually important to you, then yes, you do have an IP rating on this device. Now the colors that you can get this phone in, you can get it in Phantom Black, you can get it in Phantom White, you can get it in burgundy, green, graphite, red, or sky blue. Now, the colors that I just named off, be mindful. Samsung, only through their website, has exclusive colors. The only colors that you can get this in from carrier stores, like your phone carriers, you know, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, or your local Best Buy, you know, if you want to get it through a carrier there, or if you just want to buy it unlocked, Amazon, you can only get those colors or this phone in the Phantom Black, the white, or the burgundy, or the green. But if you want the graphite, red, or the sky blue, those are exclusive colors to Samsung's website only. And my understanding that right now, at the recording of this video, that sky blue and the red are completely sold out. I mean, so if you want those colors, you got to order them from Samsung's website, and you're going to be waiting for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because I really wanted to get my hands on that red one, and it was gone. It was out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I got the next best thing. What y'all think it is? Huh? You guessed it. Cocaine white, baby. Yeah. You see the S? What color is the S? The color of the S signifies the color of the phone. Cocaine white, baby, man. That Tony Montana edition. Yeah, that Yayo edition. You know what I'm saying? Now, the dimensions of the phone is 228 grams, 229 grams for the millimeter wave variant, which is what this is. Like I said, I got this through Verizon, so it is the sub 6 and the millimeter wave. And all that does is just gives you a little bit more 5G connectivity. But a lot of the other carriers where you get this phone from, it's just going to have sub 6 5G compatibilities, which that one is 228 grams. This one, because it's sub 6 and millimeter wave, it's 229 grams. Now it's 8.4 ounces, which is 163.3 by 77.9 by 8.9 millimeters. Okay, so those are the dimensions. All right, so as far as the overall presentation, you can see there Galaxy S22 Ultra. On the bottom of the device there, you just got your serial number, IEMI. You can see the little Samsung logo right there in the glare. Nothing at the top of the box. On the back of the box, you just got the S22 Ultra and some other little stuff that's meaningless. And let's go ahead and crack this thing on out the bizox. All right. File that to the side. Boom. Now here's our device. Ooh. Oh my God. So sexy, baby. Look at that cocaine white, man. Yeah. Hold up. Oh man. Oh man, look at that. And it's just that frosted glass, that Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus for durability. See, we got a little screen protector on there. Go ahead and get that off of there. Go ahead and power it on. I know we got some juice. Or do we? Don't tell me Samsung put this phone up in here and we ain't got no juice. Are you serious? Oh, okay. There we go. All right. This kind of reminds me of like a pearl white. I don't know. It kind of seems like there's like different colors that kind of shimmers in the light. But I like the way that it feels. Like I know that this is glass, but it's like a frosted glass. Really smooth texture. This is not going to be a fingerprint sensor or fingerprint magnet. You can see we got the little Samsung logo right there. Can you see that in the glare? And then the IEMI information right there. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and file that to the side momentarily. And let's check out what we got in the rest of the box, which is nothing. We've got our SIM pin. Okay, we've got our Type-C to Type-C charging cord. Now it's funny, they'll put the cord in the box, but they won't put the charging brick in the box. You see how they do us? That's what they do. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the unboxing experience. Now I do want to say I also just had my I ordered a Spigen case. And Spigen did not send this to me. I bought this. I love Spigen. I like their cases. You know, Spigen, if you want to send me something, you know what I'm saying, go on and holler at me, you know what I'm saying, because I pretty much lace all my phones with your cases. But this is a clear case. This is an ultra hybrid slim case from Spigen. It just got delivered from Amazon. I believe this was $14.99. I ordered it on Amazon yesterday, you know, and this is what's going to be protecting my S22 Ultra. I decided to get the clear because I want people to see that cocaine white edition because it's a head turner. You know what I mean? So I will drop the link in the description down below if you want to protect your phone with this case as well. And as you can see, it's just a clear TPU case. You peel off the plastic, slip your phone in there. It's got all the proper cutouts you can see for the charger, for the speaker, and the cutout right there for the S Pen. cutout right there for the little noise canceling microphone. Yeah, Spigen is the truth, man. They are definitely the truth when it comes to cases. So like I said, I mean, I'll drop the link for that in the description. That's on Amazon right now, $14.99. All this business about paying $1,000 plus for a phone and then got to turn around pay like another 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks for a case, depending on what kind of case you get. Nah, man. Just go right on over to Amazon and Amazon got you. Okay, now, here we are. So, 6.8 inches, ladies and gentlemen, corner to corner. All right, you see, we've got that camera is very small. I feel like it's smaller than last year's version, or the S21 Ultra. I like that. Again, that's a 40 megapixel camera, and that's you know, the hole punch is it's not all that intrusive. You know, I know some people don't really like the placement of it, but to me, that's not going to bother me at all whatsoever whenever I'm viewing content or anything like that. People would just be so petty, you know, about things. That little camera hole is so small, that's not going to interfere with anything. But I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of people, oh my God, the camera placement, it just interferes. I can't enjoy my content. Man, go play somewhere, bro. You know, and that ain't nothing right there. Now you can see, again, the screen to body ratio is 90.2. We have very minimal bezels at the top, along the sides, along the bottom. And as you can see, we do have a little bit of curvature. You know, the screen, I mean, I guess what this is, you call that the waterfall display. The display, it does kind of bleed over the sides on both the right and the left side. Now, I know some people don't like that. They would prefer for the phone to just be flat, you know, across the top and just have it more boxy. But I don't mind this. I mean, it makes it more round. It has palm rejection, so it's like you're not gonna, you know, accidentally, you know, access things when you're holding the device. But it also makes the phone more rounder. And this being a bigger phone, somebody like myself who has smaller hands, it's easier to wield. You see that? So it's rounded around the corners. Like you can see, look at it. From back to front, how it's rounded around the edges. I mean, it has a really good ergonomic feel to it. Even me having small hands, I feel like I will have no problems at all wielding this phone. Now, mostly because of how big this phone is, it's going to be a two-handed operation. But you can navigate this device with one hand if need be. Now, if you got bigger hands, then cool. But somebody like myself who has really tiny hands, even this big phone, it doesn't feel too cumbersome to handle. And I like that. And I think a lot of that is just because of the ergonomics and how it was built. Okay, so across the right side, you can see that aluminum chassis. We've got antenna line right there. Here is our 5G. What is that? That's the. But we've got our volume, our power button right here, and our volume rocker right above the power button. The power button does not have any rigidity to it. It's just nice and smooth, but it is smaller. It's not as long as the volume rocker. So even if you're not looking at this phone, say if it's in your pocket and you're pressing these buttons, you can just feel, and you should be able to easily determine which button is which. All right, now across the top, we've got another antenna line with a noise canceling mic. To the left side of the device, we've got an antenna line here and here. And on the bottom, here's our S pin. Here's our speaker. In between, with an antenna line in between that, here's our Type-C port. Here's our SIM tray. And then we've got another antenna line there. Now on the back of the device, you see we've got this beautiful cocaine white color along with the camera lenses. So yeah, I mean, I like the way that this phone looks. I like the way that it feels. Again, it is big, you know, and I'm pretty sure that some people are going to have some gripes about that. You know, my man Tech Odyssey, shout out to him. I know that he mentioned in a previous video that Samsung had missed the mark because they should have given different sizes for the Ultra, given the fact that the last 2 years that they made a Note, we had, you know, a bigger Note and a smaller Note. but I can't say that I agree with that. Although I understand what Tech Odyssey was saying, the Note has always been a big phone, right? The Note has always been Samsung's cream of the crop. And one of the things that made it the Note was how big it was. So even with this rebrand, it's like, okay, well, if the size of this phone is too much for you, then you just simply downsize to the S22 Plus. And if that's too cumbersome for you, then you got the S22. And both of those phones are a little bit smaller than what they were last year. I know the S21 last year was 6.2 inches. Now the S22 is 6.1. And it really feels like Marquez Brownlee was saying that it feels like a small phone. And it really does. I mean, 6.1 inches, that's still a bigger display. But because of the fact that the front of that phone is pretty much all display, the exterior build is actually pretty small, and it does feel like it's compact. Okay, the S22 Plus, it was 6.4 inches. I think now it's 6.7 inches. Now it's 6.4. I believe. Don't quote me on that. Check that out. But I just know that the screen size is a little bit smaller. So if the 6.8 on the Ultra here is a little bit too much for you, then Samsung still got you. You still got two other choices, and that may be a better fit for you. All right. So y'all go ahead and chill for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad boy set up real quick, get it to the desktop, and then we'll go through some of the features and functions. Take a peek at the camera, situation, and then we'll close this thing on out. All right, y'all, we are back in, and my goodness. Okay, so I actually just managed to set the whole thing up, just downloaded Smart Switch to my Pixel 6 Pro, got everything moved over, apps, contacts, a few other things. It's been a minute since I've played with the Samsung device, it seems, I was reminded as to why One UI is one of my favorite user interfaces. There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not going to go over everything because we'd literally be here all day, and I know that you guys don't have that kind of time. I certainly don't have that kind of time, but a lot of the things that I don't cover here in this unboxing and first initial impressions video, then stay tuned because I'll have all the other information, in the full pristine review. And sound off in the comments too, after watching this video, if there's anything that you would like for me to specifically, go over in the full pristine review, aside from what my overall thoughts and feelings are of this device. All right, now, what we'll do real quick is we'll pop down into, oops, didn't want to do that, the settings. What we doing here? Memory. So this is the 256 gig variant of the device, and after moving over all of my applications from my Google 6 Pro here, trusted Google 6 Pro, I am still left with 210.3 gigabytes. I mean, so the pre-installed applications, which is a lot, and the applications, I think it's maybe like 40 applications or something close to it that I installed. It only took 45.7 gigs out of the 256, which is why it's left with 210.3. The memory is 3.6 gigabytes. So 6.3 gigabytes are being utilized out of 12 gigs of RAM. Again, I mentioned 12 gigs of RAM. I mean, that is straight overkill. I mean, that's more RAM than a lot of laptops have in a phone. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Made sure that I updated all the apps. I checked for any software, updates or security updates, and everything is good to go, fresh out of the box on this device. If we go down to About Phone, we'll see status information. What am I looking for? Software info. You see we got One UI version 4.1, Android 12. Just to confirm, the latest security patch on this device was January 1st, 2022. So we'll probably be getting another, security patch, on this device. Granted that we are here on the 24th of February. I can only imagine that another update is going to be coming soon. Now, speaking of updates, Samsung did go on record and state specifically that this device is going to be updated with software and security patches for the next 4 years, which is one-upping the Google Pixel by a year, because we are getting software and security patches for the Pixel 6 Pro here for the next 3 years. Well, Samsung one-upped Google and they're like, hey, we're going to get you popping for the next 4. Which is new, you know, and with that kind of move, I could see Samsung, they are really trying to make sure that everybody is covered for a longer duration of time. They also understand too that a lot of people, they don't upgrade phones yearly. But yeah, so just wanted to show you guys really quickly. The plan was to show you what the internal storage was looking like with all the pre-installed applications. Now, what we'll do is, we'll go down into the app drawer, and you're going to see, a lot of my applications that I've downloaded, but I can tell you for sure, a lot of the things that were already on here. I'm not a gamer on my phone. Okay. I got my Nintendo Switch OLED right here on my table. I got my PS5 and my Xbox Series S in my bedroom. I am strictly a console gamer. I don't do gaming on my phone. So we got Blocks, Candy Crush. Again, I got this from Verizon. This is the Verizon variant of the S20 Ultra. And so you got a lot of the Verizon applications that are on the device. And I don't quite mind that, right? But a lot of the other bloatware, like a lot of these games and things, like I said, Blocks, Candy Crush, Disney Plus, DoorDash, GPay. These are all Galaxy apps that come preloaded on the device. What else is there? Pluto TV. Like a lot of the Samsung stuff. Expect to see that on a Samsung device, right? You're going to get a lot of these Samsung apps, but I guess they still can be considered bloatware, because a lot of people who don't use them, they're going to be like, man, this thing is chock full of Samsung apps, but it's a Samsung product. So if you're unfamiliar with how Samsung typically goes about their products, their direct competitor is Apple. And if you're familiar with how Apple does things, Samsung tries to, run their mobile operation very similar. And you know how Apple is its own proprietary, company as far as how it goes about its cell phones, and it has a lot of different components, and it just plays so well, and ease of use and all that kind of thing. And it has a lot of Apple built applications that are very useful and beneficial to a lot of us. Well, Samsung, they want to do the same thing, and so that's why a lot of times on their devices you're going to find a lot of the Samsung bloatware that they want you to use. Now, I haven't tried to delete one of these. Couple of devices you weren't able to, and it was just on your phone and you just didn't use it. And I hope that a lot of this stuff that I don't want, I can go ahead and delete it. But like Solitaire and Toy Blast, Wadoku, Yelp, a lot of that stuff, it comes on there along with all that Samsung bloat. So just giving you guys a heads up that, there's going to be a lot of stuff on here, between the games and, the Samsung pre-installed applications that are going to be on here. Yeah, so now let's talk about security real quick. Now, I like to, with some of the, the gestures, we've got double tap to wake. And I was going to try to do the facial recognition, but my face is behind the camera. Let's see. Let me try that again. But I love the feature of double tap to lock the screen and to turn the screen, put the screen to sleep. And then, double tap to wake. So let's see. What? Face doesn't match. All right. Well, we've got the under the display ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Okay. You see that just opened right up with no problem. Okay, let's try that again. Boom. Okay, it's pretty swift. Definitely quicker than the Pixel 6 Pro. Not a problem at all whatsoever. All right, now let's try that facial recognition again because it's lightning quick. It's just my face is behind the camera, so therefore the camera's not able to really capture my face. Okay, so let's do this. Boom, did you see that? Let's do that again. Just pops right into the home screen. I like the fact too that as I was setting that up, the phone gave me the option to where after the screen unlocks due to my face, if I want to swipe on the screen or if I want the screen to just go right into the home screen or whatever the last application that I was in. Same thing when you enter in your PIN number, okay? Like if you guys enter in like a security PIN for your security and every time you want to get into your phone, you got to put that PIN in. A lot of times you got to put that PIN in and then you got to hit like next or hit continue or something like that in order for the phone to actually unlock and take you to your home screen. Well, there's an option when you're setting all that stuff up to turn that off. So it's like you put your PIN in, boom, just like that, it snaps right into your home screen or whatever the last app that you were on. And same thing with the fingerprint sensor and the facial recognition. Like I don't recall a phone ever asked or giving me that option. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's, you know, I like that. You know, it's little things like that. You know, it's the little things in life, but little subtle things like that. You know, I like those kind of things. All right. Now, so now that we've, you know, I've demonstrated, you know, the security functionality, let's pop into the settings because we've got tons of them. Okay. So, Samsung device, Samsung account. Okay, we got connections. Connections is where you're going to find a lot of your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode, all that kind of thing. Wi-Fi calling, Bluetooth, NFC and contactless payments, airplane mode, mobile networks, data usage, SIM card manager, mobile hotspot and tethering, and then more connections. And if you're looking for something else, you got link to Windows, Android Auto, and Quick Share. Okay, that's all under connections. And we got sound and vibration. You can either have sound, vibration, mute. This is where you can opt to have the phone vibrate while it's ringing, which if you're gonna be rocking this phone booted bucket naked and you ain't got a case on it, I strongly suggest that you turn off vibrate while ringing, because what happens is while the phone is sitting on a flat surface, when it rings and vibrates, it makes the phone move. Because of the vibration. And there's been times where I didn't have cases on phones, but I had the vibration on and my phone would ring and I wouldn't get to it in time. And it was sitting on, say, like my desk here, and the vibration would cause the phone to just roll off and crash to the floor. And I've actually cracked a couple of screens that way. So that was my lesson learned. When I got my phone outside of the case, turn off vibration, you know, and then I only turn vibration back on when I got the case on. Normally my cases are like a very hard plastic, most of the time rubber. And so it's like when they're sitting on flat surfaces, even though it's vibrating, they don't move. And speaking of vibration, the haptic motor on this device is absolutely amazing. It feels very similar to the Pixel 6 Pro here. And you know, Google, they've always had really good vibration engines in their devices. And the Samsung here is no different. And I also like the fact too that you can toggle the vibration intensity, and that's not something that's exclusive to Samsung devices. I've seen that on other devices, but to be clear, a lot of phones have terrible haptic engines that give terrible haptic feedback, and a lot of times I just end up turning the haptics off. So I like the fact that, you know, these premium devices that are costing some serious money, you know, they're really giving you, you know, premium functionality, even all the way down to how the phone feels when it vibrates. It vibrates nice and hard. Like I said, I mean, you can toggle the vibration sensitivity, how hard or soft you want the phone to vibrate. Again, One UI, man, I love having the option to toggle the phone and make it my own. You know, I really love that. It's little subtle things like that that really cause me to buy into a device and actually rock with it. You know, some phones I just, you know, test them out and I use them for a little bit and then it's just like, you know, I feel like I've experienced that before. You know what I mean? And so I get over it quicker. But it's like all the little nuances or just the little small things that Samsung gives you with One UI gives you a sense of like, I'm really making this phone my own, and you can tweak certain things to make it fresh here and there. You know what I mean? And it's just, you're less likely to get bored with it as quick, and I like that. Like, I like little gestures like that. It seems like Samsung, they chuck their phones full of a lot of different things that a lot of other OEMs don't really think about. I like that. So thumbs up for Samsung for that. Now they just need to put that damn charging brick in the box, and then, we'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so, vibration, ringtone, notification sound, system sounds, volume. Go to volume real quick. I love the fact too with the volume that we have the option to toggle the volume between the ringtone and the notifications. It's not the same thing. And that's one of the main things that I love about Samsung devices, because I absolutely despise devices that they have a volume setting, but the ringtone and the notification sound is the same. So if you just want to turn down your ringtone, but you don't want to turn down your notification sound, well, guess what? They're consolidated. So you're turning them both down. Well, Samsung is like, well, we're aware that some people may not want to turn down their notification sound, or they may not want to turn down their ringtone. They may only want to toggle down the volume for their notifications. So let's give them an option. So I like the fact that we can toggle the volume for not only the ringtone, but the media, notifications, and the system. Okay, like I said, it's the little things, ladies and gentlemen, little things like that appease us consumers, or me at least. I don't know what works for you or what you like, but I know that I like stuff like this, right? Full on customization. I'm a huge fan of. Okay, now we've got call vibration pattern. We've got all these different patterns that we can choose for when our phone is ringing, or for when it's vibrating for notifications. Okay, that's for calls. This is for notifications. Okay, here's the vibration intensity. So this is, again, for incoming calls. You can control how intense you want the phone to vibrate for notifications and for touch interactions. I mean, so whenever you swipe back, there's a little haptic feedback. When you are, making a phone call, when you're pressing the numbers, when you're dialing the number, there's a little haptic feedback, like little stuff like that. That's what touch interaction is. And so it's like you can customize the vibration or the haptics feedback just with the touch, notifications, incoming calls, everything, right? I'm a fan of that. Or you can just scroll them all the way down and turn them off if that's what you want to do. Okay. All right. So now we got system sound and vibration control. And so this is where you can choose where you're going to get a haptic feedback. You got touch interactions, screen lock to unlock, charging, dialing keypad, Samsung keyboard, touch interact. Well, this is sound. This is sound, and then this is vibration. So touch interactions, dialing keypad, navigation gestures, charging, Samsung keyboard, and camera feedback for vibration. So this top portion here is for the sound, and then you got vibration. Because the phone, it'll vibrate and it'll make a little sound, or you can turn all that stuff off if that's what you want to do. Okay. But again, like I said, I like the option to be able to do whatever I'd like to do. We got sound quality and effects. This is going to tap you into the Dolby Atmos feature. You got Dolby Atmos for music and media. You got Dolby Atmos for gaming. We've got an equalizer here. We got some presets: normal, pop, classic, jazz, rock, custom. And then we've got an equalizer here that we can just manually toggle. I'm a huge fan of this because I'm an audiophile. Some of you guys may call me crazy. I have paid subscriptions for Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, and Epidemic Sound. And so a lot of the music that you guys hear in my videos, a lot of that music, all of it rather, is coming from Epidemic Sound. I pay $15 a month, and as long as I am an Epidemic Sound member, I have exclusive copyright to use whatever I want to use without copyright infringement. Okay, so if you guys are content creators and you want to put music, good quality music from every genre, hip hop, R&B, jazz, acid jazz, smooth jazz, pop, classical, country, dubstep, uh, man, all these different type of genres, Epidemic Sound has you covered. And there are different plan packages. I chose the $15 a month package because that's what I wanted to do. But there are, I believe, a couple of packages that are a little less that are going to give you access to a lot of music. But for the access that I want to have, which is to everything, I want to be able to access everything because I switch up, based on mood, the different types of music that I want to hear and the different types of music that I want to put in the videos for you guys to enjoy. You know what I mean? So epidemicsound.com. I'm a huge audiophile, music buff, and so having an equalizer like this to really tweak and customize the sound to my liking is super, super, super important. Okay, like I mentioned, we also have that hi-fi. What is it? It's a 32-bit, 384 kilohertz audio DAC built here in the Type-C port. Okay, so a few Samsung devices ago, when they were putting the dongle in the box, I still have those dongles. So if you've got an old school car that has an aux port, you know what I'm saying? You plug in the dongle. On the other end of the dongle, you got the 3.5 input, and you just plug that in, and boom, rock out, and you got full customizability right here to toggle your sound. Again, kudos, Samsung. We got the UHQ upscaler enhances the sound resolution of music and videos for a clearer listening experience, and you only have access to that, when you're actually plugged in. Okay, and I think you may have access to that too when you've got a Bluetooth, if your phone is connected to a Bluetooth speaker. I could be wrong, but I believe that's when that pops up. Right now it's grayed out because there's nothing connected to the device. I can toggle Dolby Atmos and Dolby for gaming because I don't need to be connected to anything. That's going to toggle the way the speakers on the phone sounds, which we do have dual stereo speakers here up top and then one on the bottom that is tuned by AKG. Okay, then we got Adapt Sound. This is find the best sound for you. Now check this out. This is kind of nuts, and I've seen this on other Samsung devices as well. Your ears are unique. You may be more sensitive or less sensitive to certain frequencies of sound compared to other people. Your hearing varies with age and may even differ from your left ear to your right ear. Adapt Sound gives you perfect sound that's tuned just for your ears. It works whenever you're wearing headphones. Okay, so you can choose Adapt Sound for media and calls, only media, or only calls. Now, choose a preset that matches your age or try a hearing test to get fully personalized sound. Right? Now I'm 43 years old. I'm going to be 44 later on this year in September. All right. It's off right now, but you see we got some presets here. We got under 30 years old, 30 to 60 years old, or over 60 years old. And so as a preset, if you choose under 30, boost high frequencies. But then you can hit the little settings icon and you could tweak that yourself from left ear to right ear. And then you could also check, choose your sound preferences, which either clear or soft, preferred ear for calls, left or right. Like this is stupid, man. This is ridiculous. I mean, just all the stuff. And see, a lot of people, they don't even talk about this stuff. And a lot of people be wondering why my videos are so long, because I go over all these things. Because if you want to commit to this device, I want you to know exactly what it is that you're getting. A lot of people, they don't even delve into the settings this much to even know that this phone does all this stuff. You see? So man, like I told you, the difference between my channel and other influencers is I'm really reviewing this thing, but it's more geared towards a teaching experience. I want to teach you everything that you need to know about this device. So if you commit to it, you know exactly what it is going into it. You know exactly what that device's capabilities are, whether it's a feature that you need or not. Okay? Pristine Tech is going to give it to you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, now, if you're 30 to 60 years old, boost high mid frequencies. Again, you can hit that icon to toggle that. Okay? And then if you're over 60 years old, it says boost all frequencies. Now, I think that's kind of messed up. It just kind of assumes that if you're 60 or over, more than likely you probably got some hearing deficiencies. And so it says boost all frequencies. Now, if you don't fall under that category, but you're 60 plus, then again, you can hit that little settings icon, and you can toggle the sound to, to fit, your hearing needs. Okay. Like, this is super dope to me. I've never seen this on other devices. I've seen this on other Samsung devices, but I've never seen this on any other Samsung device. Yeah, there's several other devices out there that have Dolby Atmos, or they'll have DTS:X Hi-Fi, which is very similar to this, as far as like having an equalizer and the ability to to customize your sound, but they don't have Adapt Sound. And then if none of these presets got you covered, then what you do is you hit Test My Hearing. And then it directs you, find the best sound for you and use it for calls, music, and video. And then you just follow the instructions. Go to a quiet place, number 1. Put on your headphones and close all multimedia apps, number 2. Test your hearing to find the best sound for you. Your current personalized sound data will be replaced, 3. And then number 4, tap Start, then follow the instructions on the screen. And what it's going to do is, while you got your headphones on, it's just like a hearing test at the doctor's office. You're going to hear a bunch of little subtle sounds, and then the phone will ask you, if you heard that, okay, tap here. You may hear sound in your left ear. Okay, did you hear that? You may hear sound in your right ear. If you heard it, tap the screen. It's testing your hearing, and it's going to formulate based off of how you answer the questions on the test on what you heard versus what you didn't hear. It's going to create its own little hearing profile for you. Like that, like that is insane. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. So yeah, man, Adapt Sound is here on the S22 Ultra, and it's under sounds and vibration. All right. So, and then you got separate app sound, which is play media sound from one app on a different audio device. All right. Now we've got notifications. So status bar and do not disturb. Okay. So you got notifications pop-up style, whether you want them to be brief or you want them to be detailed, or you can turn that off. Include all apps, brief pop-up in settings, do not disturb, advanced settings. These are your advanced notification settings. All right. And this is where you can find show notification icons. I like the fact that you can have all notifications, but sometimes it's kind of tacky. And sometimes I would like for a little bit of a cleaner, like up top, like when there's a notification, you notice how up here, there's a bunch of little notification signals. Well, with this, you can hit all notifications, which right now says I've got 4. So you see that? So now I've got, it shows the little notifications icons up there, or you can hit the 3 most recent, and then it'll have a little dot next to that indicating that there's more than 3 notifications, or you can choose number of notifications only. And you can see the little 4 right there in the glare right next to the clock. I would actually prefer to have that because it keeps a lot of clutter out of that top left corner. And all I got to do is just look up there and see the number. Hey, I got 4 notifications. And if I want to check those notifications, hey, I can just swipe down and boom, I can view those notifications. Just like so. Very simple to do. Show battery percentage, notification history, conversations, floating notifications. By default, it's on bubbles. We got suggest actions and replies for notifications. Show snooze button, notification reminders, app icon badges, and wireless emergency alerts. All right. That was all under advanced settings under notifications. Okay, now display. We got light mode, dark mode. You guys already know. I keep it on dark mode, but for the sake of you guys can see me in the glare in the back, you know what I mean? And I don't want, my lovely handsome face to obscure, your vision, and for, you guys to be distracted out there, mainly the ladies. But I don't want you guys to be distracted from what I'm talking about, right? I want you guys to see nice and clear, what's going on. So I keep it on light. Now, but we got dark mode settings. I didn't even pop into that. What is this? To schedule dark mode to turn on between sunset and sunrise, location needs to be turned on. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so with location on, based on whether it's dark or light outside, then the phone will automatically enable dark mode or it'll disable dark mode. Okay, cool. Turn on as scheduled. So you can set a schedule to turn on dark mode if that's what you want to do, right? Pretty dope. Okay, we got adaptive brightness, extra brightness. Now, as I mentioned to you, this phone goes up to 1,750 nits. That, ladies and gentlemen, is insane. That is super bright. That is like being able to view this screen no matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how much sunlight may be beaming on your device. You could be at a football stadium, you know, and them really bright stadium lights are just beaming on your phone. Now, for a lot of people, that is enough to obscure the vision to where they're going to either have to hold the phone in a different orientation to be able to view the screen. But at 1750 nits, it doesn't matter what the lighting situation is. You're going to be able to see this display with no problems. Hands down. I don't even think I've ever seen a device go past 800 nits. So the fact that this phone has 1,750 nits maximum brightness, that's insane. Now be mindful. If you do turn on that high brightness, you are going to literally fry your battery. Okay, and it will tell you, right? You've got adaptive brightness and then you got extra brightness, and it says increase the maximum brightness. This uses more battery. So just be mindful. If you do turn on that extra brightness for whatever the reason, you're gonna kill your battery ASAP. And this is a big 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You don't want to do that. All right, motion smoothness. Okay, now. The only issue that I have with the motion smoothness, I like the fact that it's there, but I don't like the fact that it only gives you two options, which is adaptive or standard. Okay, now adaptive is get smoother animations and scrolling by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 120 hertz. Having that on can also fry your battery. Okay, now if you change it to standard, get longer battery life with the 60 hertz screen refresh rate. But it is a very, very noticeable difference. So when you have on adaptive screen smoothness, the screen is nice and smooth. And based on what you're doing, the phone will automatically adjust the refresh rate based on what you're doing. Okay, you will definitely see the difference between when it's running on 60 or below, or if it's running higher than that. But if you put it on standard, it's just running at 60, which the screen refresh rate is extremely choppy. And to some, it may not be usable. Especially if you're like me and you've gotten used to, you know, using higher refresh rates display. But you know what? I'm no fool. If my battery's compromised, I will much rather deal with choppiness animation and scrolling rather than just run my battery into the ground and not have it, because I'm so concerned about, you know, having a higher refresh rate. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this is the fact that you've only got these two options. There are other phones like my ZTE Axon 30 Ultra 5G, which I think is still, you know, one of the best Ultra devices that you can get your hands on. It has a 144 hertz display, and it gives you the option to toggle down to 120, to 90, then to 60. You've got 4 different options to choose from as opposed to just having 2. So it's like, what if I want to have my refresh rate turned down just to 90? You can't do it. So I'm not a big fan of the fact that the only option that you have is adaptive or standard. Now, I'm not going to complain too much because I like the fact that we do have a higher refresh rate, smoother scrolling, smoother gaming, but it would have been nice, you know, if we had some options. Say if we wanted to scroll it down from 120 to 90, it'd have been nice to have that ability. Okay, but this is where you go and change it. By default, it's on adaptive. If you want to hit standard, you hit apply, and then boom, it's done. All right. So display is where you go to toggle the motion smoothness. All right, we've got eye comfort shield, screen mode. Now by default, it's on vivid, and that's why I like it. Why? Because it oversaturates the colors a little bit. But to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with color oversaturation because I like for my colors to pop. I like them bright, vivid, sharp. That's why this is called vivid. When you turn it down to natural, yeah, it may give you more natural color sense, but things aren't as sharp. Things aren't as crisp. And I like my colors crisp. And you notice too, when you put it on natural, the options, they kind of go away, right? When you put it on vivid, you have the ability to toggle the white balance from cool to warm. And then when you go to advanced settings, you can change the RGB, the red, the green, the blue. Okay? You have the option to toggle those things when you are in the vivid setting. When you are in the natural setting, you do not. Okay? So just be mindful of that, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Now, font size and style, screen zoom, now screen resolution. Now by default, I hear a lot of grumblings about this. Marquez, Brownlee, some of the other heavy hitters. Oh, well, if you got these devices and they're capable of these higher refresh rates and these higher resolutions, why don't you want to, max out the phone's potential? Isn't that what you paid all your money for? Flossie Carter, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they always be making comments like that. They want to rock their phones on max brightness and maximum resolution, and I get it. But there's a cost associated with that, So when it comes to screen resolution, you can have HD plus, which is 1544 by 720. And right here, it gives you a little demonstration, right? You guys see that? It gives you a demonstration on what an image is going to look like on HD plus, what an image is going to look like on full HD plus, and what an image is going to look like on WQHD plus. Okay, now obviously, WQHD plus, things are extremely crisp and detailed. But things don't look bad on full HD plus. Now you can see here in this, let me get a little closer. Get a little closer. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see the blurriness on the HD plus? The full HD plus is a bit more clear, not as blurry as the HD plus, right? But then the WQHD plus, oh man, look at that. Look at that. That's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. And so a lot of people, they're going to want that WQHD quality. And you're going to put your phone on WQHD. And there's no problem with that. I got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? You rock your device how you want to rock your device. You spent that money. But if you want to maintain that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, see, there's trade-offs, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to be mindful of the trade-offs. Okay, you have to be mindful of the fact that everything that you turn on that's going to really push this phone to its limits, that's killing your battery. Excuse me. It's killing your battery. So by default, this phone is on full HD plus, which is 2316 by 1080, which I don't have a problem with, and that's actually where I'm going to leave it. But then you got 3088 by 1440. Which is the highest screen resolution. And Samsung makes the beautifulest, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Keith Murray back in the day. The most beautifulest thing in this world is just like that. I get in you. Man, where my East Coast cats at, man? What up, son? Nah, I mean, what up, yo? Man, Keith Murray. Man, but yeah, if you want the beautifulest screen, then yeah, that WQHD plus, that's where it is. But like I said, you might want to keep a charger in your pocket. You're gonna be like some of these Apple fanboys and fangirls having to live next to a power socket. Hey, y'all don't trip, man. You know what I'm saying? All you Apple fanboys and fangirls, I understand the battery life has gotten significantly better on the newer devices. One of my favorite devices is my iPhone 13 Pro here. It stays on person, it stays in my pocket, and the battery life is excellent. I'm just talking more so to you folks that got the older iPhones that just can't seem to upgrade, can't let go of Touch ID. Y'all know who I'm talking to. Y'all living next to wall sockets, man. But yeah, so this is where you go to toggle the screen resolution. All right, you want to make a change? You just simply click on whatever you want your resolution to be and hit apply. But like I said, by default, it's on 2316 by 1080, and I'm comfortable with that. I'm good with that. So that's where I will be leaving my screen resolution. All right, now we got full screen apps. Screen timeout, easy mode. You got kids, you got children, turn on easy mode. Now, I wouldn't recommend giving kids this phone because it's expensive, and if they crack and break it, kids ain't got no sense of cost. They ain't got no sense of money management or a value of a dollar. So I wouldn't put this phone in a kid's hands. But if you do, if you're that brave, then make sure that your phone is protected, screen protector, case, you know what I'm saying? Even though we got Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and the back, okay? That doesn't mean that the phone is child-proof, okay? Okay. Now, edge panels. This is where you go to customize your edge panels, okay? We got panels, the handle. The handle is the little bar that sits on the side that you can just swipe from. You know, the position, you can have it on the right side or the left side. By default, it's on the right side. Okay, we got the lock handle position, which when you find a spot where you want the lock handle to be, then you just turn the lock handle position on to where it will never move unless you want it to move. Okay, now we got the style. We can choose a color. Now right now it's white. Okay, so I just hit the black button and you see it right there. Well, here, let's hit the red. See that? You see that little red? Can you see it in the glare right there? Let me see. Okay, there we go. Now it's super red. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I like that. And you can make it small or you can make it large. Okay, you can touch on it and hold it, and you can move it up and down like so and have it exactly where you want it. So I'm going to move it about right there. About right there is like where my thumb is at. Boom. Okay. And I'm gonna lock it right there. So, you know, I'm holding my phone. Obviously my thumb is gonna be touching against that. It's never gonna move from that position right there. And when I wanna get to my quick toggles, boom. There it is. Now that's also interesting because I got on touch gestures too. And just a couple of times when I tried to access it, it went back. So I have to play with that a little bit, you know, just to make sure that my touch gestures aren't interfering with when I'm trying to access my edge panels. But this is where you go to, you know, customize the applications. You know, if you want apps edge, live messages edge, people edge, you know, smart select, task, weather, tools, reminder, clipboard, all that stuff. And then if you want more than that, you can go to the Galaxy store and, you know, you can get more for your edge panel if that's what you want to do. All right. Now, navigation bar. This is where you're going to go to choose how you want to navigate your device. You want buttons? Click on buttons. Simple. All right, boom. Now the buttons are down here on the bottom. You want swipe gestures? Boom, you click on swipe gestures. All right, now if you want more options, and this is typically how I rock my Samsung devices. So actually, let me do this. I've gotten so used to the Pixel and the iPhone. You know, Samsung, I like the fact too that you can customize your button orientation and you can make those buttons swipe gestures. So now, usually if I have buttons enabled, I have back on the right, home in the middle, and then recents on the left. All right, now you can turn those into swipe gestures, which is what I just did. So now you can see the three dots or the three lines on the bottom. So if I want to go back, I'm going to hit that one. If I want to go to recents, I'm going to hit that one. You see what I mean? And then if I want to go home, I'll just swipe up, you know, from wherever I was at, where I just was, and that'll take me home. Okay. So that's where we That's where we choose, how we want to navigate our device. And actually, by having it set this way, it's not going to interfere with my edge button. So you'll see now, whenever I swipe over from it, boom, no problem. I can get it to it with ease. All right. So that's just a quick remedy too. If you're concerned about, oh, well, I got my gestures on and I want to swipe back from the sides. Well, then it's like if you're trying to access your edge panels, then you may find yourself swiping back rather than actually opening up your edge panel. All right. All right. So under display is where you have your navigation bar, and that's where you choose and customize that. Now we got accidental touch protection. You want to turn that on. Protect your phone from accidental touches when it's in dark places such as a pocket or bag. You got touch sensitivity, which is increase the touch sensitivity of the screen for use with the screen protector. Show charging information, screen protector. And then if you're looking for something else, side key language, visibility enhancements are always on display. Then you can just click on that at the bottom there. All right, now, oh, see, I'm tripping. I just forgot that I had just switched the, switched the button orientation. Okay, so we got wallpaper and style. And I like this because again, we're on Android 12. And so as opposed to having to do a lot of separate things to really give a phone, the color scheme that we want, then what we do is just based on the wallpaper, right? You can go into color palette and it says choose a palette based on colors from your wallpaper, and it will change everything. So you see I've got the white and blue going on. You notice a lot of the applications are that same color blue. When I swipe down, they're that same color blue. Like, that's super dope. All you have to do is change your wallpaper and just select that you want the your palette to be the same color, and it's gonna customize on its own a lot of the apps just to make it the same color as the wallpaper. Like, that's pretty dope. I like that. Okay. Really? Okay. And then it's like, if you want dark mode on, it says apply dark mode to wallpaper. All that does is just makes, if you have a lighter wallpaper, it just makes it a tad bit dimmer. Like, it's not gonna turn everything dark. Like, say like my wallpaper here, the only thing that's gonna change is, well, let's see, boom, dark mode. Oh, okay, well, yeah, it does change everything. But you notice on the lighter wallpaper, it just made it slightly dimmer than what it was when dark mode was off. So that was the point that I was trying to make. But you see the Google bar is black now. It turns all that stuff black when you turn it on dark mode. All right, but again, for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna turn dark mode off, but trust and believe, because dark mode is my thing. As soon as this video ends, dark mode is coming on, son. Nah, me. All right. Oh, see, I'm doing it again. Dang it. All right, let me put the phone this way so I can access that button. All right, it's easier to do when you when it's not sitting on this stand. Okay. There we go. Whoa, what's going on? All right, wow. Okay, so we have home screen, and this is where you can change the home screen layout, whether or not you want to choose an app drawer and the home screen, or you just want the home screen only, and you want all your apps on your home screen. This is where you choose that. Okay, this is where you can choose your home screen grid. So if you chose 5x5, that's 5 apps across, 5 apps up and down. You could choose 4x5, 4x6, 5x5, or 5x6. I like 5x5. That's where I typically keep it. But then you got the app screen grid. So on your app tray, same thing. You could have 4x5, 4x6, 5x5, or 5x6. Okay. And I like to keep it at 5x5. You hit save, and there it is. And then you got the same thing for your folder grid. Okay, app media page to home screen, show app screen button on home screen, lock home screen layout. So if you have a particular layout on your home screen and you don't want anything to move or anything to be added or taken away, you just hit lock home screen, and you won't be able to like long press and move applications around unless you disable that. Okay. Add new apps to home screen, hide apps, app icon, badges, swipe down for notification panel. That's just, you know, this phone is a big phone. So if you want to access the notification panel, as opposed to having to reach all the way at the top, you can just swipe down, well, swipe down from anywhere. Okay, you can swipe down from the bottom and it's going to bring down your notification shade as opposed to you always having to reach up top and swipe it down. All right, that's what that is. Okay. So we have lock screen. So you're going to find lock screen type, pin, face, fingerprint. It's dope that you can have all those enabled at the same time. So you can basically unlock your phone however you want to. You know, there's like a 3 or 4 second window, maybe 5 seconds, that the front facing camera is trying to scan your face. So if you miss that opportunity, then you got the fingerprint sensor or you got your PIN code, whatever you want to do to unlock your device. Just make sure that it's secure. Okay. Now we got smart lock, secure lock settings, always on display. So always on display is under lock screen now. Okay. And show a clock and notifications when your phone isn't in use. Tap to show always, which will fry your battery. I don't recommend that. Show as scheduled, and you can create a schedule. So like I like for my always on display to pop on at 7 p.m. and keep it on till 7 a.m. And then show for new notifications. So that means is whenever you get a new notification, if you don't already have always on display on, then whenever you get a new notification, it'll pop up. And so that'll be an indication that you got a new notification. You know what I'm saying? Indication you got a new notification. Hashtag bars. You see what I'm saying? Now, you can change your clock style on the lock screen. You got different ones to choose from. Screen orientation, auto brightness. This is for the always on display. And then about always on display. And then looking for something else, show fingerprint icon, show charging information. All right. That's all under the lock screen. Okay. Then you got wallpaper services, clock style, roaming clock, widgets, contact information, notifications, shortcuts, about screen. And then of course, depending on what you're looking for something else, face recognition, fingerprints. Okay. We got biometrics and security. That's where you go to set up your fingerprints or your facial recognition. Privacy, location, safety and emergency. This is where you plug in your safety and emergency information in your phone. So if something were to happen, say if you were out and about and you collapsed, somebody can get your phone, and on your lock screen, they can access your safety and emergency information to maybe get your name, address, maybe some contacts. You know, but obviously you want to call 911 first in that particular situation. But as far as like getting loved ones to the scene, if you're alone, then, you know, putting your safety information and emergency information in here can be very useful in helping a first responder or somebody get in contact with your loved ones should something happen to you. Okay. Accounts and backups. This is where you go to manage like your emails. This is where you turn off auto sync and stuff like that, which I recommend because it fries your battery to always have all your different email accounts syncing and all that. I just have it set to manual. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I want to check my email, I just swipe the screen down and do a refresh that way so I can get all my current emails as opposed to my emails constantly coming in as the day is going on. That's what auto sync does. Auto sync enables your emails to notify you whenever you get emails. And I know, like, if you're like me, I got like 2 or 3 personal emails. I got a couple of work emails. My phone will never stop chiming if I didn't turn off auto sync. It would also fry the battery as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to conserve your battery, I would recommend turn that off, or maybe just only give it access to your main email. You know what I mean? So that you're not getting all these notifications, so that it's not always having to sync and kill off your battery. Okay. But manage accounts, backup data, bring data from old device, external storage transfer, and then looking for something else, reset. All right. Then we got Google, advanced features, digital well-being and parental controls, battery and device care, apps, general management, accessibility, software update, tips and help, and then about phone. Now, real quick, we're going to go into advanced features. This is where we got link to Windows, continue apps on other devices, Samsung DeX, Android Auto, Quick Share, Labs. Labs is try experimental features. Some features may not work correctly with all apps, but then you got multi-window for apps, full screen and split view apps. So this is more of like a multitasking type of feature that it allows you to play around with. Okay, you got S Pen. This is where you're going to go to toggle all of your S Pen features. So you got air actions, S Pen unlock, screen off memo, quick create notes, S Pen to text. What that is say like in your Google search bar, how you would normally type, hey Google, what time is Best Buy closing tonight? Well, in the Google search bar, you can use the S Pen to write it out, and it's just S Pen to text. And so you write it in the Google search bar, and then it'll convert it to text, and then it'll search for whatever you wrote in the search bar. I just use that as an example, but that's how that works. You got air view, show pointer when hovering. That's just like whenever you've got the S Pen hovering over the device, you can see the little circle thing, basically wherever you choose to hover the S Pen. You got allow multiple S Pens, keep S Pen connected. So this is keep your S Pen connected so it's ready for air actions as soon as you remove it from your phone. This increases battery usage though, okay? Just like allow multiple S Pens, use other S Pens while your S Pen's inside your phone. This may drain your battery. So Samsung is very cautious and conscientious about letting us know that certain features and functions that we turn on, it can kill off the battery. So just be mindful of these things, okay? Then with the air commands, we've got menu style. That's on standard by default, okay? But you can choose the look of the air command menu. You can either have standard or compact, okay? Shortcuts, show air command icon, open air command with S Pen button. There's a button on the S Pen that you can press and it'll open or close air commands, which is super dope. When S Pen is removed, open air commands or create a note or do nothing. But by default, it's on open air command. Warn if S Pen is left behind. So show a warning if you leave your S Pen behind and walk away with your phone while the screen is off. It'll like make a notification sound or vibrate, indicating that the S Pen wasn't put back in the device like it should be. The S Pen is meant to be kept with the phone. So if you leave it somewhere, then the phone is going to alert you. All right. And then feedback. We got sounds, play sounds when you insert or remove the S Pen or write on the screen. And then vibrations, vibrate your phone when you insert or remove the S Pen. And then general tips for using your S Pen, about S Pen. Okay. So like I said, this is the Note, rebranded as the, and manifested within the S series. But I mean, the same features and functions that we got with the Note, which there may be a few enhancements, they're here on the S22 Ultra. Okay. This is the Note, same, boxy square shape, S Pen, all the S Pen shenanigans, man, this is a Note, man, Shout out to my man Technically T. I saw, something on Twitter that he posted, earlier today. He was like, man, this is a S series device. This isn't a Note, and I'm like, bruh, you my guy and all, but I mean, this is a Note, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be argumentative, brother, but man, this is a Note, hands down, so S Pen, side key, motions and gestures, one-handed mode, Bixby routines, smart suggestions, screenshots and screen recorder, show contacts when sharing, video call effects, game launcher, video brightness, dual messenger. My God, where does it stop? One UI just has everything, seemingly. Now let's go to motion and gestures real quick. Now I got all these things turned on. We got lift to wake. If your phone is just chilling in sleep mode and you want to look at the screen, then you just pick it up, lift it up. The phone recognizes when it's lifted up and it will turn on the home screen. Double tap to turn off the screen. Or double tap to turn on the screen. Double tap to turn off the screen. Rest in peace, LG, because LG originated that feature, but yet they never got credit for it. LG, I remember, and I will never forget. Okay, keep screen on while viewing. That is a useful feature. A lot of us have our screen timeout time at 30 seconds or a minute. We may be reading some content or something, and 30 seconds or a minute goes by, and then we see the screen start to go dark. And if you don't tap the screen to make it light again, then it's going to go off and you're going to have to unlock your device again just to continue reading your content. Well, what this is keep screen on while viewing. As long as this camera can see your eyes, the phone's not going to go to sleep. Okay? So you want to turn that feature on. Alert when phone is picked up. Your phone will vibrate when you pick it up after missing a call or message. Mute with gestures. Mute incoming calls and alarms by putting your hand over the screen or turning your phone face down. Okay? So that's that slime ball tactic. That's sleaze bucket technique. You chilling with your main lady, and you got your side piece blowing you up, you know what I'm saying? Because she want to see you, or you had to stand her up because something came up or something like that, or she want to holler at you and you can't talk right now. Man, you just turn the phone on its face. And if your woman asks you, hey, why you got the phone on its face? What you hiding? You just simply pick up the phone and just be like, baby, look at these aesthetics. Look at the cosmetics of this device. This is absolutely beautiful. I am just acknowledging and appreciating the craftsmanship of this device. And she'll be like, oh, okay, baby. Yeah, it does. I mean, you ain't lying. This phone looks absolutely stunning. It is a head turner, So, I mean, man, you got brothers, man, y'all got to be quick witted. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay on your toes, man. You got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. You understand? Yeah. But yeah, so, that's how you do that. Mute with gestures. And then you got palm swipe to capture. So what that means is if you want to take a screenshot, you just take the palm of your left hand or your right hand and you just gently run it across the screen and it takes a screenshot. Very simple. Okay. Very easy to do. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for all the things that I wanted to show. What a mouthful, right? But again, a lot of stuff here. Like I said, a lot of stuff to unpack. And, it's been a minute since I've rocked with a Samsung device. And so I kind of forgot how it's fully loaded with a lot of these things. Now, let's pop into the camera app, shall we? Okay. Focus enhancer on. Okay, so we have portrait mode, photo mode, video mode, and more. So when you go to more, this is going to take you to some more of the toggles here. So we got Bixby Vision, AR Zone, Pro Mode, Pro Video, Single Take, Night Mode, Food Mode, Panorama, Super Slow Motion, Hyperlapse, Portrait Video, and Director's View. Okay? So those are a lot of the toggles that you can access in the camera app. Okay, now we will pop into the settings. Now it says intelligent features. You got screen optimizer, shot suggestions, get on-screen guides to help you line up great shots. If that's something you want, you can toggle that on. Scan QR codes. Now for pictures, you got swipe shutter button to take a burst shot or create a GIF. All right, then you got picture formats. You got high efficiency pictures or raw copies. You can turn either one of those on, but by default, you see that they are turned off. Okay, save selfies as previewed or save selfies in selfie video as they appear in the preview without flipping them. Selfie color tone. By default, that is on natural. But you can have natural or you can do bright. And you can see there's a slight difference. Like when you put it on natural, when it's on natural, it dims the background a little bit, but you put it on bright, and I don't know if you can see that on camera, it brightens the background a bit. Okay, so just for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and keep it on natural. And we'll go back out of that. Okay, Now, videos, we got auto FPS. So it says not available with the current mode or front camera. We got video stabilization, which you want that on. Advanced recording options, we got reduced file size. So save space without sacrificing video quality. The results will be saved to HEVC format, which some apps and websites don't support. We got HDR10 plus videos, and it says labs next to it. So that indicates to me that this is in an experimental phase. This is optimize the contrast and color of rear camera videos recorded in video and pro video modes. Some apps and websites don't support HDR10 plus. Okay. Then you got zoom in mic. And that's a feature that you want to have turned on. Why? Because when you zoom into a subject, the closer you get to the subject, the more sound from whatever that subject is or what it may be projecting, the microphone can pick up. Okay, so it says match the mic zoom to the camera zoom while recording in video mode. So like I said, you want to have that feature turned on. All right, now we've got auto HDR under the general camera settings. Tracking autofocus, keep the rear camera focused on the selected subject even if they move. Grid lines, I like that, so I'll turn that on. Location tags, shooting methods, settings to keep, shutter sound, vibration feedback, privacy notice permissions, reset settings, and about camera. Now, pop in shooting methods real quick. Press volume keys to take a picture or record video. That's by default, but you can change that to zoom in or out or control system volume. Then you got voice commands. If you turn that on while you're in the camera app, while you're in the viewfinder, you can say things like smile or say cheese. You can say capture or shoot or record videos by saying record video. So you can say things and it will trigger the camera to either shoot a video or take a still shot image, you know? And so you just turn on voice commands and then you'll be able to do that. Then you got floating shutter button. That's just having an extra, you know, this phone is a big phone. So if the shutter button is too cumbersome for you to hold it in the orientation that you need to take a picture, then you can have a floating shutter button where you basically can move a shutter button wherever you want it to make it more convenient for you to shoot the picture. Okay. Then you got show palm. Show your palm to the camera to take selfies or start recording selfie videos. All right. And that's all we've got under the settings. Okay. So let me take a quick photo. Wow, look at that. That is just, the detail is just insane. My goodness. Very quick shutter speed. Get a quick selfie in there. Boom. Okay. So this is the selfie that I just took, and that is pretty stunning as far as the quality. And two, I am just such a handsome, debonair, devilishly handsome young player. You know what I'm talking about? God clearly didn't make no mistakes when he made this thing right here. You see? Yeah. And then here is the photo that I just took of, you know, my surrounding scene. And I mean, just everything is just so detailed. I mean, the detail in the carpet is just absolutely insane. Like, I think that this camera is really going to rival that of the Pixel 6 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro. And, you know, as far as the camera is concerned, it seems like Samsung seems to always be in the shadow of these two devices, right? Google is stating a strong claim to be the best camera on a smartphone, okay? But then Apple is like, wait a minute, Google, time out, you know what I'm saying? Because we got, you know, camera technology that got like real, you know, pro, real live movie making abilities and capabilities within them, okay? And then you got Samsung here that's just like, look, I'm just sick of both you Google and you Apple, and we just gonna come through and we just gonna crush the game, with these cameras. So, I think I'm gonna put together a camera duel with all three of these devices, right? Because I'm curious. I don't really think you can go wrong with either one of the cameras on either one of these phones. But which one is the best? Is there such a thing? Or is it just one of those things where it really doesn't matter? If you got either one of these phones, you're going to be golden in the camera department. Things that make me go, All right, ladies and gents, so, that's where I am going to, and if you swipe hard to the right, this is going to access your Google Now feed, which it's not Bixby. Okay? It's Google Now. Not to say that I would have minded if it was Bixby. Just give me the option to either choose Bixby or have Google Now. And I like the fact that by default, it's Google Now. Okay. So as I was saying, ladies and gents, that's where I'm going to just end this video, because I know that it's been a while since I've been talking with you. There are timestamps in the description box. You're at the tail end of the video now. So, hey, if you got it this far, then man, I salute you, because I know that I can be long-winded. And I just want to, like I said, I want to cover everything. I want to show you guys literally everything, so that if you commit to this device or any of the S22 series or even the S21 series, because those phones too have a lot of these features, I want to show you those things so that you know exactly what you're going into if you decide to pull the trigger on this device or the other two devices in the S22 lineup or even the S21 lineup. All right. So I thank you for allowing me to bend your ear. I do this to help you guys all make an informed decision on what your next smartphone purchase is going to be. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Be sure to keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I've got so much more content to come. We're at the top of the year. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out this year, and I'm going to be covering a lot of those phones here at Pristine Mobile Tech. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I drop a video, so that you can get that notification and be one of the first to check out the content as it comes out. And if you want to talk to me, if you have any questions, any comments, feedback of any kind, then the comment section is where you drop that feedback, and I'll respond to you as quickly as I can. And the only thing that I ask is that we keep it respectful, and let's talk tech. Respect my views, I will respect your views, and we'll keep this thing loving and peaceful, which is how it ought to be. All right. So as always, please keep it safe. Get spiritually fit, ladies and gentlemen, because we are definitely living in the last days. I just saw earlier today that Putin has announced that they are going to war with Ukraine. And it's just like, my God, what has war ever accomplished but a lot of lives being lost? And over what? It's absolutely insane. So that, on top of all the other madness that's going on out here, all these shootings, gun violence, police brutality, racial and social injustices and inequality, marginalization, oppression, racism, discrimination, gender discrimination, sexual orientation discrimination, these hierarchy, people that feel as though they're superior, making people feel inferior. No. If you are here, there's a reason for your existence. God created you, and God makes no mistakes. Okay? This world is a sick world in which we live in. And if you read the book of Revelations, you will see that we are clearly living in the last days, which is why I always tell you guys at the tail end of these videos to get spiritually fit. Do not push it off until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. Accepting the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in your life is literally the best thing that you could ever do. You can be living your best life. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all the things in the world. But if you ain't got Christ in your life, guess what? You ain't got nothing. That's all I'm going to say about that. Keep it pristine. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.